In ancient Cyprus, around 300 BC, there lived a prosperous merchant named Zeno. During a trading journey from Phoenicia to Piraeus, disaster struck. His ship was swallowed by the sea, taking every piece of cargo with it. In a single uncontrollable moment, the fortune Zeno had spent years building disappeared completely. Now, place yourself in his situation and consider the implications. How would you respond if everything you worked for vanished overnight because of forces beyond your control? Most people would feel devastated, angry, betrayed by life itself. However, Zeno's response stood apart. That response would later become the foundation of Stoicism. Sometimes a single shift in perspective can echo through an entire lifetime. Stoicism is built on that shift, the understanding that peace comes not from controlling events, but from controlling our response to them. Inspired by the teachings of Socrates and other philosophers, Zeno developed a philosophy centered on inner discipline. He believed we have little control over what happens around us, but complete authority over how we interpret and react to those events. Instead of collapsing under grief after losing his wealth, Zeno chose composure. He faced ruin without surrendering his peace of mind. Today, many people misunderstand Stoicism. They imagine Stoics as emotionless individuals who never feel pain, anger, or anxiety. But Stoicism was never about suppressing emotion. It was about understanding life clearly and responding to it wisely. For the Stoics, philosophy wasn't just theory, it was a practical way to live. And even after thousands of years, those principles remain remarkably relevant. Stoicism teaches that suffering is often amplified not by events themselves, but by our expectations about how life should unfold. Perspective shapes experience. Two people can face the same hardship and walk away with entirely different meanings attached to it. The Stoics openly shared their teachings in public spaces because they believed wisdom belonged to everyone. Slave or emperor, rich or poor, anyone could practice Stoicism. Among its most famous followers were Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius. The early Stoics challenged social divisions and promoted human equality long before such ideas were common. They even coined the term cosmopolitan, meaning citizen of the world, emphasizing that all human beings belong to one shared community. Unlike much of ancient society, Stoics also believed women should study philosophy freely. Musonius Rufus argued that virtue and wisdom were not exclusive to men, but natural pursuits for all people. So why do people still turn to Stoicism today? Because life is unpredictable. Loss, failure, rejection, illness, disappointment. None of these can be fully avoided. Stoicism teaches us to expect hardship rather than be shattered by it. Rain, for example, is necessary for life. But getting caught in it without warning feels miserable. The reason we don't panic every time it rains is that we accept it as part of nature. Stoics believed adversity should be viewed the same way. Hardship is not an exception to life, it is part of life. One Stoic practice, known as voluntary discomfort, involves deliberately embracing minor discomforts, sleeping on the floor, taking cold showers, eating simple meals. Not as punishment, but as training. The purpose is to remind ourselves that we can survive with less than we think. In today's world, we are constantly told that happiness depends on status, appearance, money, possessions, or others' approval. Stoicism challenges that idea completely. It argues that tying your happiness to external factors is dangerous because they are unstable. Cars break down. Wealth disappears. Relationships fail. Popularity fades. As Seneca wrote, living with less creates room for what truly matters. The Stoics believed real fulfillment comes from character, not possessions. From inner stability, not external success. At the center of Stoicism lies its most important principle, the dichotomy of control. \text control what you can, accept what you cannot. According to Epictetus, wisdom begins when we separate what belongs to us from what does not. Our actions, attitudes, and choices are ours. Outcomes, opinions, luck, and circumstances are not. You can work tirelessly on a project, business, or dream, but once it leaves your hands, the result is influenced by countless external factors beyond your control. Stoicism teaches that success should be measured by effort and integrity, not by applause or outcomes. Imagine someone working relentlessly for months, expecting a promotion, only to be rejected. Most people immediately internalize failure. But the Stoic asks a different question. Did I do my best with what was within my control? If the answer is yes, then disappointment loses much of its power. The philosophy rests upon four central virtues. Wisdom, understanding what can and cannot be controlled. Courage, enduring hardship with strength and dignity. Temperance, practicing moderation and self-restraint. Justice, treating others fairly and contributing to the common good. Even leaders like Nelson Mandela reflected Stoic ideals. After spending 27 years in prison during apartheid, he emerged without seeking revenge. Instead, he focused on reconciliation and rebuilding a divided nation. Stoicism also continues to influence modern psychology. Approaches such as rational emotive behavioral therapy and logotherapy draw heavily from Stoic principles, helping people challenge destructive thoughts and search for meaning even during suffering. Ultimately, Stoicism is not about becoming cold or detached from life. It is about becoming resilient enough to face life honestly. It teaches us that peace does not come from controlling the world. Peace comes from mastering ourselves. Storms will always arrive. Ships will sometimes sink. Plans will fail. People will leave. Nothing lasts forever. But if we learn how to navigate those storms with clarity, discipline, and grace, then even in difficult times, we can still live well. Because in the end, everything eventually comes to an end.